The weekend, the Trump campaign claimed its emails were breached by hackers working for Iran. The campaign provided no specific evidence of Iran's involvement.
Meanwhile, Iran denied its involvement in the hack, telling the Associated Press that it has no plans to interfere or launch cyber attacks in the U.S. presidential election. Joining us now to discuss, Alex Hamerstone, Advisory Solutions Director at the information and security consulting company TrustedSec. Welcome, Alex. Good to see you.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on.
So how likely is it that this could be Iran's doing, and can you break down on how something like this does happen to begin with?
So I think what's essential is to really kind of wait until everything's confirmed. You know, there's a lot of speculation out there. And with any of these cases, it's always interesting because the people who have the most information and are closest to it are probably not able to share much as the investigation unfolds. So more will be coming out with that. You know, we've certainly seen a lot of people in the know, saying it looks likely or this bears the hallmarks of certain organizations. But when it comes down to how these things are happening, really, it's pretty consistent, right? Depending on, or regardless of whether it's an organization or a campaign or what have you. And a lot of these hacking incidents start with phishing, right? So somebody will send you an email that purports to be from someone you know, and it will try to get you to click on something that will then compromise your machine. And we oftentimes think of these phishing emails that we receive all the time that are kind of ridiculous, right? Lots of misspellings, your package is missing or what have you. But these are highly targeted phishing attacks. And for any of us, if someone's willing to do a bit of research, they can learn a lot of things about us and thus be able to create very convincing, very accurate emails that are going to get someone to click.
And Alex, why would Iran even be interested in hacking the Trump campaign or any U.S. campaign for that matter?
So I think what we're going to see, especially as we get closer to the election, and it's probably going to ramp up as we get closer, people tend to have a very short memory, is that they just want to create division and sow chaos and so on and so forth. When you think about, the goals of this type of thing, if it's from an adversary, it's not necessarily to change results and things that people worry about on that end. It's really just to create division, get people to argue, get people upset and riled up and really just kind of cause discord throughout the country.
So let me ask you this. Last week, Microsoft warning that Iran is gearing up for a major effort to try to interfere, at least, with the U.S. presidential election. What are some examples that I guess that could look like and what people should look out for?
So there are a lot of ways that it really could come to pass, but really it's the fake information. If you think about really anybody out there, anybody with an email account or text messaging, if your internal emails or personal emails were suddenly shared, with everybody and made public, it would cause issues for just about everybody, right? Especially if those things are shared out of context. People are emailing and sharing all types of personal information, all types of confidential information. People are just not that careful anymore with what they're emailing. So if someone's able to access that and share it can cause huge issues. The other thing is creating misinformation, right? So if you start to leak emails, how do you know whether that was actually true? Then you can start creating fake things all you want and sharing those. And as we see on social media, people aren't necessarily verifying what they're sharing. So the ability to spread misinformation or spread information that's been stolen, it happens very quickly and can have a very significant impact on people's opinions and the nation.
And how can the campaigns update their internal security to make sure this doesn't happen?
So there's a long list of things, when it comes to the things that we would tell anybody, things like using multi-factor authentication, really limiting who has access to sensitive information and so on and so forth. But really the most important thing is to be careful what you're emailing, be careful what data you have, and really limit who's able to access it. Because we're seeing reports that really, both campaigns are being hit by these attempted attacks. And as we get closer and closer to the election, it's just going to ramp up. I mean, this is really, I think, the new normal for elections.
All right, Alex Hamerstone, Advisory Solutions Director at information and security consulting company TrustedSec. Alex, thanks. We appreciate it.
Thanks so much.